go ahead and get started. Wow, the echo. I was like, is she mic'd? No. Well, yes, but not for projection. Welcome, everyone. Feel free to come in and find a seat. Oh. Okay. Oh. My impact. Hello again. Third time's the charm. Welcome to our events programming town hall this morning. Thank you for braving the blizzard. I'm just kidding, but for a minute there in the morning, we were a tad concerned. I think I said this last time, but I'm going to say it again. As a former theater kid, usually I am off book. However, there's a lot of important information today, so I did print out notes that I will be looking at periodically through my welcome announcement to you all. First of all, I just wanted to say that this meeting is being recorded, so to everyone who is speaking today, please speak into this microphone that is not for projection, but for us to capture the audio, and then we will be emailing that out after. And then I also wanted to give a special thank you to Café Lavos, who provided the pupusas this morning. They were one of our fall market vendors, and I believe that they just moved into a space across the viaduct on 24th. I think their grand opening was literally a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, so that's super exciting for them, and we are very grateful for that. I just wanted to give a brief introduction to the Ogden Downtown Alliance. I'm sure all of you in here know our mission and the work that we do, but just in case you are not familiar, we exist to support and increase economic vitality and community vibrancy in Ogden's Central Business District. And I like to, in simpler terms, something we've been saying in our office lately, we bring folks downtown, encourage them to stay longer, and then to spend their money locally with our local and independently owned businesses. So that's really our mission that guides everything that we do here. And if you are familiar with us, you know that we operate under 6 pillars, which are here on the screen. So those are coordination with community and economic development, arts programming, marketing, business support, placemaking, and events programming. And so each of our town halls, we host 4 throughout every calendar year. They are all themed after one of our 6 pillars so that we can do a deeper dive with you all as downtown stakeholders and business owners, so you can see the work that we're doing, what we've accomplished, where we're headed, things of that nature. And I am really excited to get into events programming this year because events really are pivotal to the work that we do in driving that foot traffic downtown. So here's a lot of fun information and an outline of what our special events are. But this year, exciting, was our first full event season back since 2019, which is a massive deal because the past 2 years have felt like 20 years. So looking back as we were programming these events, we were like, what did happen? Like, when was that? And so it was really exciting to just have all of those events back this year. And on top of that, we also supported 3 Ogden rooftop cinemas, which was a pilot event. And we also programmed another year of Beats and Beats and some other pop-up activities and arts programming there. But a significant piece of what we did this year was we hired Jessica Marine, who is our arts and events coordinator, back to the team. So we are really happy to have that position here again and to have someone dedicated to that vision and helping us move that work forward. And you will hear from her later. But before we move on with the agenda, and I welcome Karen from Visit Ogden, I want to stress how valuable your feedback is today. As you were walking in, you may have seen some large A-frame size boards hanging on our wall in the hall right there. Each of those boards represents one of our special events, and there are prompts on the wall, as well as sticky notes and pens and markers. We want to hear from you because our events were all created and serve a purpose downtown for the business owners and for the stakeholders here. And we want to make sure that we are still meeting those purposes and that we are answering to the needs of who is downtown. So we would like you to just go deep with your feedback there and help us really get a better idea of what's working, what isn't, what you need as business owners, your favorite event, maybe your least favorite event, questions, concerns that you have. We want to hear all of it so that as we are planning for 2023 and years beyond, we are doing what is needed for the downtown and not just what sounds fun. So with that being said, I am going to welcome Karen now, and then we will hear from Thomas, Kim, and Jess from our office.
Good morning. I can't see with both on and off, so we've been asked just to give a brief overview of where tourism has come so far this year and where we're hopefully going within 2023. January to October of this year, 2022, we're seeing a 22% increase year over year in transient room tax, which is amazing, as well as 33% increase in all tourism taxes collectively year over year. These are outstanding numbers which we've never seen before, so we're obviously doing something right. Youth sports has buoyed our tourism numbers over the last couple of years. And as we head into 2023, we're going to see that continue to increase. With the onset and the support of Triple Crown Sports, Sarah and Millie were able to secure Triple Crown Baseball, which will be in June. Softball will return in July of 2023. And then Hillfest is going to try and make a comeback at Powder Mountain, which will be in April of 2023. We also will have two of our larger conferences that were well-planned, well-organized, and took years to create, but were canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic. And so they are APCO, which is the 911 dispatch organization, is going to be here at the conference center, as well as Higher Education Data Warehouse, which was also another one brought to us through Weber State University. Something that we are going to be working and focusing on next year into 2023 is a Bring It Home mentality campaign, where we are finding that historically our biggest pieces of business is coming from local contacts and resources. And so we are going to incentivize those here locally. We're not sure what that looks like yet. We're working on what economic impact numbers look like or attendance. And so we're really excited to create that campaign and bring it to light as well. As Haille mentioned, events are a big part of what we do. We don't necessarily create them, but we do support and bring events here, and they are important to tourism, and they oftentimes bring individuals who have maybe never been to the area before. And what we also have found, and most of you are well aware, is once we get people here, they'll often say, why have I never been here before? So we're excited to work and focus on that. And then just a highlight on our sustainability program. Sarah has worked quite hard over the last number of months in building a destination stewardship plan with a couple of consultants that will be supporting us. She has created a steering committee with community partners who will guide and steer our efforts as we become a more sustainable destination. This will be in part tied to our destination development plan, which 2023 we will begin our year 3 in phase 1 of that plan. And so we're excited. Despite what we're seeing number-wise with the economy and with inflation, we don't quite know what 2023 looks like. But so far what we have on the books looks to be pretty good. So, and everybody in this room has a big part of what we do, and so we thank you for your support. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, yeah. Because we are tasked with economic impact numbers with the conference center and Weber County facilities. So we're finding, in fact, through the pandemic, it was youth cheer and dance that kept us going, kept the doors open. So, but those were not local contacts. Those were people coming in because we weren't completely shut down like other communities were. Okay. And for the last couple of years, I've been working with Sheriff Arbin. He wanted to bring the Utah Sheriff's Association here to Ogden. and their executive director won't leave St. George. So at least we tried. So there are organizations out there like we do. Most of us in this room are a part of an association. A month ago, we hosted some quilters at the conference center, and I was able to work with this gal who is local, who's part of the Utah Quilters Guild, and she wanted to bring it to Ogden. And so there is an association for everything, and start thinking, be creative, and we'll just keep you up to date on what that looks like. And then just one more, Saturday's the last day for Restaurant Week, and so there's some great new menu items that have been included with our local restaurants. So hopefully you'll get out and enjoy that. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. I myself have already partaken in Restaurant Week a couple times, so love that. Next, I would like to welcome Thomas and Kim. Thomas is our development director here at the Ogden Downtown Alliance, and I don't know if any of you have met Kim. She's just like the executive director, so she's also going to say a few words.
Thomas and I are kind of tag teaming the economic. So we work with Visit Ogden, and this year we also started working with a company called Placer to do better traffic counts of participation at our events, and also the disbursement rate as they come through events downtown. Where do they go next, and how far is that range of travel? How far are they coming from, et cetera, et cetera. So that we weren't just reporting numbers to you in terms of we bring this many people to your storefront every Saturday or Wednesday night or whatever day it may be, but that we are also able to show that dollar value. And so last year we did that with Visit Ogden's economic impact numbers that Thomas will kind of go over more. And we're still working on this. So because of that transition with Placer AI, we're still finalizing all of our counts for 2022. So we're giving you kind of a preview because we want to talk about the economics and the business impact while we are asking for direct feedback from businesses as we go into planning for 2023. But those finalized metrics will be reported at our January town hall as well. But some offhand things for you to know about. This year, 2022, for Farmers Market, we had 18,000 people downtown every single Saturday. That's 16 weeks. That's an 80% increase over the attendance in 2019. So not only a return from pre-pandemic levels, 80% is no joke. I think we've all felt that. There's a ton of background initiatives that go into every single event that we put on. So when you Jess is going to walk you through some activities later, but when you look at these posters on the wall, every single event that we has its own mini mission statement within our organization's mission and focus. And so are we fulfilling those things? So 18,000, obviously there's not additional parking in downtown. So a huge initiative through ODA has been reinforcing concepts of microtransit and comfortable walking and navigating throughout the downtown. And so those numbers really are indicative of success rates in that. You can feel that as business owners, the reports coming back from the junction and up into Nine Rails and even south of our event footprint are showing those increases on event days in terms of business as well. So another thing that's kind of interesting, I asked Cameron, who does all of our social media, to put together a report. We received 6,300 direct messages on social media during our event season. So that's awesome. A lot, and I think like 80% of those, like that's a rough estimate there, but 80% is business owners tagging us. And so we're able to reshare what you are doing as business owners, promoting your activities, whether that's being open different hours for events or offering, brunch during the market or tagging us for your art stroll activities. Like there are a ton of things that we're able to gain value through that. So we say we get a lot of social media. 6,300 direct messages is just like bananas. If you think about, between May and October, that's a ton. Events are also a huge driver of community pride and engagement. We consider them the front porch for awareness of your business. So in every email that Haille sends out, you see us begging you, right? Like, be open, be lit, be vibrant and attractive. And the people that are reporting successes with those events, you can see directly when we survey our business owners, you can look line by line where they answer yes to, are you open and active during the farmer's market or during Harvest Moon or during the car show? When they answer yes to that, their sales numbers, when we ask about those, that they're the ones that have that highest increase as well. So we're constantly trying to provide opportunities for you to make the most of that, front porch foot traffic. But and then we do that with like our social media training and business merchandising training and all the different opportunities that we provide. You can go to the next slide. This is very tiny, so I apologize, but I wanted to kind of give you, when we survey the business owners and our vendors after, we survey the general public, our vendors and community partners, as well as direct business owners. So we have segmented surveys for every event that we produce. This information is specifically from business owner surveys. So we asked about closing the street. That's 100% that said yes, closing the street for these large-scale events is effective and useful for businesses. Then we asked what type of business, and I know you can't see these numbers, but this blue is retail, this red is professional services, you have restaurants, and then you have other. So even with that composition, that composite look at the variety of businesses we offer, still 100% are reporting that it is of value and increase to their businesses. I pulled some direct quotes from, there's opportunity for people to type in responses to the business owner surveys, and so I've provided just some of those quotes as well. This metric down here, these two, this is 26% and this is 33%. This question is asking during events what their increase in revenue is. And so those orange and blue, that's indicative of a 25 to 50% increase in sales during events. So that's pretty huge. In fact, we often don't receive any complaints from businesses on their traffic or sales or profitability during our event season. It's immediately that segue into November when we start getting like that panic feedback of like when people start to realize that foot traffic has fallen off. And then this one down here is about the ongoing audience attraction. So do you feel that you're being met with the opportunity for new customers who are long-term engaged in your business? And so that's about 73% that said yes there. Go ahead and move to the next slide. We also see our events as an opportunity to fulfill so our mission that Haille mentioned at the beginning is divided into 6 we call them pillars of mission focus. Events programming is one, but we see events as an opportunity to in part fulfill the other 5 pillars of our mission focus. So if you've participated in any of our other events, you've probably heard us say that we use our events as pilot demo place for a lot of our other concept projects, micro level, looking at the transit opportunities, conversation starters. So I've included in here, we hosted the Make Ogden feedback sessions, particularly regarding 25th Street throughout the farmers market season. We also host between 3 and 6 nonprofit groups on average each week. That's actually a low estimate because I didn't include the fact that we had Ogden Soccer out there every single week this year. And then at Harvest Moon, there's like 25 nonprofits are represented. And then just some numbers too about everything that we provide for musicians and arts programming throughout our summer season of events specifically. And then one thing that I think kind of gets forgotten when we talk about, particularly when we talk to business owners about the events that we manage, we kind of leave out the part of the nutrition and financial support that we're able to offer through Farmers Market to our most in-need residents directly to the west and to the south of our footprint. Farmers Market Ogden, if you're not familiar with these many initials, and I'm dyslexic, so I can't even look at that. Our Farmers Market Ogden is the largest supplier of Double Up Food Bucks and SNAP incentives in Weber County, and depending on the time of year in northern Utah as a whole. Those are initiatives that we've doubled down on throughout the pandemic. The federal government launched a program called PEBT, which added value to all of our farmers throughout a very incredibly difficult season. But then this year we were able to come back to our full scale of farmers market, but we were also able to add 2, we have full-time Spanish-speaking staff at all of our events, and Farmers Market in particular, we double down on that as well. So we've done a lot of outreach and time spent making sure that our events are accessible, affordable, that there's opportunities for people to engage whether or not they are spending. We do talk about those, how much dollar value is being returned through events, but we also want to make sure that people feel comfortable participating and engaging in their community, whether or not they're meeting that $35 average that people are spending at an event, or that whichever thing that, it depends on which event where they're hitting at. But we want to make sure that there's affordable and accessible opportunities for people to engage across the community. Go ahead. Thomas is going to talk through some of those preliminary metrics and our first look at our 2022 economic impact, and then I do hope that you'll stay to participate in the activity Jess is going to walk us through. I only say that on here because we did send an email out about if people didn't feel comfortable coming in. We do have a pretty decent attendance, but we'll be providing those activities virtually as well. So if you're listening to the recording of this and we email it out, make sure that you participate in those things as well. And same to you that are in this room, if you think of something after the fact, I know it's hard to think about a whole year and everything that your business goes through and jot it down on a Post-it note, but we do have a QR code that you can participate in as well if you think of something later on. So thank you so much, and I'll let him give you that.
Yeah, so again, thank you guys for coming. I've been informed that the coffee is gone, but I will make more when we start the activity. So Kim mentioned in 2019, we estimated an average attendance of 8,000 to 10,000 people on a weekly basis at Farmers Market Ogden. For 2021, I believe it was 12,000 to 15,000 is what we estimated on a weekly basis. And for 2022, those estimates are looking about 18,000 people every single Saturday coming downtown. Each week we host an average of 190 vendors. Many of those vendors are local businesses. A large number of them are local producers, and then a number of them are also just getting their business started, and this is where they do it at Farmers Market Ogden. So we love being a facilitator of that and bringing them tons of foot traffic. Harvest Moon this year, I believe we estimated 24,000 for 2021. This year at Harvest Moon, we estimate 29,000 attendees over the course of the day. We had 60 vendors there, 20 different community activities. If you came down, it was shoulder to shoulder. We're supposed to open the road at 9 p.m. and it was shoulder to shoulder still even then. So very proud of the attendance there. The community showed up for that. The community, the other nonprofits really showed up and helped us out with that as well. Car show. This one I'm particularly proud of. We had 9,000 people at Car Show last year in October when we held it. This year, 22,000 is what we are estimating for attendance during Car Show. Same problem there, supposed to open the road at 9 p.m. and not a chance. So the police were literally driving up and down the street kicking people out because there were so many people there. Tons of smiling faces. We drove a polar bear up and down the street. It was hot, but people loved it. And so if I could see a raise of hands, who would like to see a car show in October as well? Ashley is actually taking the tally. No, so super proud of those events. We did also Spring Beer Festival, and we had 855 tickets sold to that event. That was max capacity, and it was crazy. It was fun, but we decided that we were going to try something a little different for Peculiar Pours so that we could sell more tickets, and we combined it with the Witch Stock Festival. If you were downtown that weekend, the weather was insane, and we still think we had about 3,000 in attendance for those events. The fall market, one thing that we did differently last year versus years previous is there was no gap between summer market and fall market. We just kept it going. And so Harvest Moon week, you had fall market in the 300 block and then Harvest Moon in the 100 and 200 block, and then we just kept fall market in the 300 block for an additional 5 weeks, and that's on average weekly attendance of 2,800 people. During that time, the 73,000 total audience on our social media, that's all of our channels combined, which includes Nine Rails Ogden, Instagram and Facebook, Ogden Downtown Alliance, Historic 25th Street, and Farmers Market Ogden. Over the course of our event season, that's 2.6 million engagements, so that's likes, comments, shares, 6,300 direct messages over those channels during that time. And if you were to look at that, our budget here at the Ogden Downtown Alliance for traditional media is rather small, and so we are happy to report that our social engagement has been great over that time, and that traditional media valuation, I don't know the dollar number, but it is way far beyond anything that we could ever afford to do with our budget for marketing and getting traditional media. So in 2021, we estimated an $8.1 million economic impact downtown. That includes Farmers Market, Harvest Moon, Car Show. We receive $155,000 in annual funding from the City of Ogden to help put those events on, and then through generous support of our sponsors and partners and different things like that, we're able to turn that into a lot of money. I mean, obviously there's effort from our vendors and other community partners, but for this year with all of those traffic increases and time spent downtown, we really anticipate 2022 being closer to $16 million in economic impact for the course of our event season. We will have those numbers in January. A lot of that, actually all of the economic impact, that goes towards directly spent money downtown at brick and mortar businesses. So like Kim said, once the event season ends, you notice foot traffic drop off. So by our estimation, outside of two things, if there is foot traffic downtown, it is brought to you by the Ogden Downtown Alliance. So the other two things are obviously Christmas Village. Thank you, Ogden City, for that. The numbers from that in our measurement of 25th Street is very high for the whole month of December. And then the Ogden Marathon is also very large. But if you look at our estimates for Farmers Market every week, it's actually pretty similar to the marathon. So, and every Saturday, yes. So like I have a graph and it's just spikes every Saturday, basically all the time. The spikes get larger in May when the marathon begins, and then Farmers Market, and then obviously December. December's just crazy downtown, so. And so we really see like the impact that has for local business owners by bringing traffic directly to their doorstep. You can do the next one. This is a fun one. During our event season, we had all of these numbers are just as important as the foot traffic. We had 816 A-frames moved, approximately 30 road closures that we put out, 493 trash cans, 149 porta potties, and approximately 264 miles walked by staff and volunteers. With all of that said, hopefully we plan to do all of this again in 2023 and possibly some additional things, which Jessica is going to cover. So thank you very much.
Just so you guys can see like my head. So this has been my first year here, and it's been awesome, but I finally made it through and in all of the events at least one time, and thank you to my partners at the city who tolerated me during that time. We're currently working on ways to make those smoother and to make them just overall better events. So today our activity is on the boards in the hallway and also on the pub tables in the back. We're requesting that you provide feedback on each event. You don't have to do all of them, but if there was an event that was particularly awesome for you or you really struggled with, we need to know that. we being me, I'm going to read all of them. These are going to be things that I can try to address when we do the event again. So the whole city of Ogden has been super great at putting up with me this year. And like all the little things that went wrong, but nobody noticed, you know? So most of the events were nearly flawless from a public perspective, but you as the business owners, I know that you have different needs. So I especially want you to think about if you had any struggles during any particular event, and what was that struggle? Did you have something awesome happen during the event that you would like to see again? Was there anything that you were just like, oh man, this was super great? So also in 2023, we're looking to expand the footprint of downtown. We are looking to bring some foot traffic to the Ogden River Parkway, and then also expand on the other side of the viaduct. And then also we've got some great things that are happening through third parties out at Lester Park. So if you all want to participate in any of those things, that would be great. If you have suggestions also about what you'd like to see, if there's an area in need that is downtown that you are specifically thinking of, by all means, email me, put it on a paper, whatever, just make sure we get that information. Another thing that is super helpful for us is when we get to hear your success stories. So Cafe La Voz is, they started out at the farmer's market, and I believe Haille was the one that mentioned that they just opened a brick and mortar. That's so great. Like, we love to see that, and we love to support those businesses. So if you have some awesome success stories, maybe not that huge, but huge for you, we want to hear them as well. We're looking to add a couple events in 2023. They have not been finalized yet, so they're still a secret. But do look for those to come. And it's not a car show in October. I am sorry to burst all you guys' bubbles, but so look forward for information on that. If I reach out to your business specifically, it's because you'd be a great fit for that event. A couple of them are very specific, and they're looking to serve companies that we feel are kind of not being served right now or being underserved right now. So, does anyone have any questions?